president-elect of the Rotary Club, and next year I will be president with this work. My right-hand man is president-elect. And I'm here to talk to you about our international projects, but then also a little bit more about Rotary in general. So for my first hat, I'll talk about the international projects. I have been involved in Tanzania since 2008, originally, when I started a grassroots organization with my boss. And you know, we heard about the need for girls' education in Tanzania, the challenges that they face in terms of being able to have just even access to education, being able to continue, the roadblocks that are found throughout their lives. So while we were there, you know, we learned a lot about it. And so we started this organization to help a group of nuns to build a school for girls. So that's how I got started in Tanzania. During the trip, a member of our trip named Kevin Crosby, who, if any of you know Buffalo Sunrise Rotary, know Kevin, know that he is, of course, to be reckoned with when it comes to Rotary, kept talking about the Rotary. And I kept thinking it sounded like a cult.
It is.
You know, because he kept talking about it. And he told me I should join this group called Rotaract. It was for members under 30 years old. And at first I was tickled pink that he thought I was under 30. I'm like, oh, maybe Rotary isn't so bad. So I kind of put it on the shelf for a little bit. And then my boss joined Rotary. She's also a member of the Buffalo Sunrise Club. And yeah, I got to learn more about it from her. And what I learned from it was that it's an international service organization, which everyone knows. But it serves our communities, both local and international. And locally, we do fundraisers, we do direct service, we get involved, we engage members of our community. But internationally, it's a little bit different. We look to broaden Rotary's reach by forming partnerships and collaborations with clubs in host countries. So, for example, for Tanzania, it worked out perfectly that when I came to this club, I had such an interest in Tanzania, and this club at that time was looking for a project. They didn't have anything started. They were looking to see what was out there. I joined and pulled us all together, kicking and screaming, if you will. So we got everybody together, we talked about it, I've been doing different things off and on. And the more I got to learn about the country and the issues around, and also what the power of Rotary can do for international projects. Because it's not just simply fundraising, it's a large part of it, but there's this whole world of grants that can be applied for, where you can leverage the work that you do here for these larger Rotary international grants. So $10,000 that our club can raise over a couple of years can actually parlay in almost $35,000 for clubs all over the world, which in developing nations, $35,000 is a ridiculous amount and can do so much good. So I've been working with the club in Arusha. Arusha is about an hour outside Mount Kilimanjaro, and we're working with them to develop a full-fledged project where we can apply for this $35,000 through Rotary grants. And we'll focus on education and access to education. So we'll talk about the areas that we're going to speak to are roadblocks, primarily for girls. Girls are the ones who are most affected by roadblocks to education. So one of the ways we're going to look at it is through harvesting rainwater. Girls will often spend an hour to 2 hours every day collecting water for their families so that they have water to clean, they have water to eat, they have water to bathe. That time that's spent each way, and it can be up to 4 hours, because the nearest water source can be several miles away. So when they do that, that either directly impedes their ability to go to school because of the time, or if they still go to school, it impedes their ability to study. Which everybody knows, if you can't study and you can't get the grades, then you can't continue to secondary school. They have to pass an entrance exam. If they don't pass that entrance exam, they're then typically married off around 13, 14 years of age as a matter of survival for their families. So by harvesting rainwater, it alleviates some of that pressure on girls to do those chores. Another thing we're looking into are sanitary napkins for girls. A lot of times schools don't have the facilities needed for girls to take care of themselves. Napkins are extremely expensive for girls who don't have any funds. And a lot of times girls will not go to school, just end up not going for that entire time, which obviously impacts their ability for education and continuing on. So by the power of this grant and Rotary and everybody involved, we're going to be focusing on projects just like that, a few others in 5 different sites in Arusha to really help education in Tanzania, again for girls, but for everybody in that area. So that's one of the great things, just one of the great things about Rotary. And I encourage everybody to come to the meetings and learn more about it. That is just one slice of the pie that we do. We have so many local projects. everybody's involved, and it's a great way to volunteer and become engaged in your community in a group setting. I used to volunteer alone, and it was awful. I go to places, and I'd be the only person I'd show because I'd want to volunteer, and people wouldn't talk to me, they didn't know who I was, so I would just end up not going again. And then I found this Rotary group, and I found a whole group of people who have the same interests, who want to volunteer, and who want to lend their talents and their gifts to our communities, both local and international. So I invite all of you to come to a meeting or more, join Rotary, ask any one of us, Rotarians here tonight or other Rotarians that you might know more about Rotary, ask us anything, and we'll be happy to spend some time with you and look